We're gonna get our acceleration here with the Pathfinder. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video we're gonna be going over a 2022 Nissan Pathfinder Platinum. First and foremost though, a huge shout out and thank you to Tim Daly Nissan here in Murray, Utah for giving me some time with this Pathfinder. Check out their inventory in the link below. Let's get into the video. So under the hood, we have a naturally aspirated 3.5 liter V6 that goes through a 9-speed automatic transmission. Power outputs are 284 horsepower and then 259 pound-feet of torque. Now let's go over the front end of the Pathfinder. First off, I absolutely love this color. I don't know if you guys can tell, but it is green and you can see the metallic flake there. Now coming down below, we've got these full LED lights. We've got Nissan's signature front grille. Notice that the Nissan logo has some white accenting. There's a camera just down below the logo. Parking sensors here along the front with the fog light there at the bottom portion. And yeah, overall, there is the front end. Now coming around the side here, we've got 255mm tires wrapped around 20-inch wheels in the front and over in the rear as well. And then as for the design on the wheels, I think they look absolutely fantastic. Notice that you've got the silver here on the top, but notice you have the darker elements there in between. Definitely creates some nice contrast there with the wheel itself. We've got the plastic molding here for the fender flares, goes along the side with the chrome accenting there in the center portion of it. Got the Pathfinder logo. Notice that the mirror is body colored, and then other than that, here is your full side view, and notice that this one has the crossbars there at the top. Now popping here to the rear of the Pathfinder, notice that we have the covering right here and then it says Nissan on it. And then notice that we can lift that and push the seat forward, and then if you want it back, well, you just have to pull the strap, and then if you pull this, then you can do the recline function with the seat. Yes, even the third row has a recline function, but other than that, that's everything for the back. So you go. Let's go over everything here in the rear. So first off, notice we've got the really nice taillights. You guys know I'm a huge fan of these from my first Pathfinder review and how they kind of wrap around. Got the gigantic Pathfinder logo. Parking sensors here at the bottom. Got to flex those manufacturer plates. Notice we got the receiver hitch just down below them. And yeah, other than that, here's everything for the rear. Now here's the door panel in the back. Notice we've got this beautiful brown leather here with the sunshade, and then we've got some storage here with a couple of cup holders, and then that is for the windows. And here are the seats. These seats look fantastic. So again, really nice leather. Notice we've got the perforated leather in the center with the really cool design there with the stitching. You've got your adjustments there for the seats, and of course, got a pop in here. Legroom, fantastic. If you guys are wondering, I'm 6 foot. Headroom is great as well. Of course, I got to stick my tongue out because, well, I'm in the second row, and usually you put your kids in the second row, so I got to act like one. Anyways, notice we've got the climate controls here for the rear. We do get heated second row seats. Got a little charging area right there. Some more cup holders as well. Now, I did pop in the third row for my first Pathfinder review, so I'm not going to pop back there. It's actually relatively spacious. Notice that you actually do get some decent legroom back there, and then headroom's actually pretty good as well. What I will say is on long trips, probably not the best for adults, but on short trips, you can 100% fit adults back there, and then kids will be perfectly fine back there. And yes, more cup holders, because you can never have enough cup holders, folks. Now coming to the door panel in the front, we've got that same beautiful brown leather and then padding where you're gonna rest your arm, and then we've got all of our window controls right here. The mirrors do power fold in, does come with memory seats, Pathfinder plaque. And then here are the front seats again, beautiful brown leather there. Look at the perforations, all that. Looks beautiful from a design standpoint. Really comfy as well. I mean, look how soft these seats are. Power adjustments are on the side of the seat. And then we've got the pedals just down below. We've got the steering assistance right here. That's for the hatch. That's the heads-up display. Steering wheel is automatically adjustable, and there's one more look before we pop in. Now here's our steering wheel in the Pathfinder. Notice we've got really nice leather all around the steering wheel, and then you can see the stitching there on the center portion. We do have our cruise control on this side, and then again, this does have the steering assist, all that kind of stuff, so it basically drives itself on the highway. It's pretty cool technology. Got our volume controls over there, paddle shifters here in the back for that 9-speed automatic. Got the turn signal light stock, windshield wiper stock. that's all. We have the full digital gauge cluster, which looks absolutely fantastic. You guys can see there's a few different menus that you can scroll through here with that little screen that you can go down, which is pretty cool. But overall, this gauge cluster just looks crazy. I don't know, I love the animation. It kind of reminds me of an old school video game. Now there's quite a few different drive modes. So we've got our snow mode, we've got our mud rut, and then we've got our sand mode on one side, and then normal or auto, which is kind of like your normal mode there in the middle, eco, sport, and then towing. Pretty easy to get into the different drive modes. And the drive mode select itself has a nice actuation on it. And notice that they kind of represent the dial there in the center, which I think is funny. But yeah, that's the center screen. Now here's the center infotainment system. First off, we're gonna pop it into reverse. So we've got the backup camera with trajectory lines that do turn with the steering wheel. And then we've got that bird's eye view camera as well. Remember, we do have the parking sensors with us in the front and in the rear as well. So that kind of helps out with everything from a parking perspective. Now, as for the rest of the infotainment system, response time on it is great. You guys know I'm a huge fan of this infotainment system. I've been in several vehicles now with it, and overall really easy to use, and again, great response time. And also we've got this camera button, which I know we already went over the camera, but look at this, we've got a front camera too, and that's what that front camera was for earlier, and then a side camera, and well, lots of camera stuff. And it also comes with Apple CarPlay. That's all. Got some vents down here, and then we've got our dual zone climate controls. This does come with heated and cooled seats, which the cooled seats are very welcome today because it's, well, 98 degrees outside, pretty toasty. And then down here we've got our wireless phone charging pad, which is actually in a nice place that holds your phone in place very well, and then a bunch of little charging ports. And then here is the shifter for that 9-speed automatic to get into gear. It's actually really easy to use despite the interesting look. Parking brake right here. We've got this for the auto stop start to turn it on or off, auto hold. The drive mode select I was telling you about, a couple cup holders. Now this says Pathfinder, and then we've got leather all over. And then there is the center console. And then we've got the glove box. Notice there's more storage space just up above. And then look at the dash, definitely beautiful with all of the leather. Now popping up top here, we've got the sunglass holder, panoramic sunroof as well. Controls for the sunroof are right there, and that's all for the top. Well, now that we're done going to the interior, let's quickly get into pricing. So the Platinum before any options starts at about $46,000. There's not a whole lot in terms of options you can add, but there's a few, and well, let's take it out, see how it drives. Let's talk about visibility before we set off here on the Pathfinder. There's your visibility of the hood, and notice the heads-up display through both of the mirrors and the rest of the rear. Let's set off. We're setting off here in the Pathfinder Platinum, and I'm super excited to finally drive the Platinum version because obviously it's always so fun to drive the fully loaded version of any vehicle. So first off, from a ride quality perspective, the Pathfinder does a really good job. I'd rate it at pretty much average for the segment. It's not any smoother, any rougher than other SUVs in this segment. It's right where it needs to be from a ride quality perspective. Super comfortable, great daily driver from a ride quality perspective. Brakes on it, yeah, definitely good. I'd rate that at average as well. And this bumpy road really shows us kind of how this car is from a ride quality perspective. Now that 9-speed automatic is just fantastic. Now the reason why this 9-speed automatic is fantastic is it's just super quick to shift, but it always has it in the perfect place from a power band perspective. So you always get torque, and you always get a good amount of horsepower as well, so you can just get up and move. But it just has this nice smoothness that you don't get from a CVT. And so yeah, definitely a huge upgrade with the Pathfinder, since it now has this 9-speed automatic instead of a CVT automatic. And yeah, it actually makes this V6 feel quicker. It really does. So yeah, props to Nissan with that. Passed the train track test, definitely went over the train tracks. Like, the suspension's really good. It handles stuff just so well. And we are gonna get our acceleration, not right up here, but in a little bit. So we're gonna pop it over into the sport mode. So we're gonna get our acceleration here with the Pathfinder. Definitely got some grunt out of that V6, and again, that 9-speed just puts it in the perfect gear, and it just gets up and moves. And you guys gotta remember, we're at about 4,500 feet elevation, and so the fact we're getting an acceleration that quick, that smooth, out of a V6 in an SUV that's this size, definitely solid. And that'll get me to setting things up with this Pathfinder. And I kind of want to give, not really my final thoughts, but kind of more in-depth thoughts on the Pathfinder. Now, this is the second time I've reviewed one, and also I've reviewed now the fully loaded version of the Pathfinder. So, first off, exterior aesthetics, definitely unique for the segment. I mean, when you see this, you know that it's something different. Like, it really, like, looks interesting on the outside. I wouldn't necessarily call it beautiful. I would just say that it's unique. Interior wise, it is beautiful. Really nice leather everywhere. Touch points are all really nice. Like all the controls, everything feels nice to the touch. So definitely really good on that, especially for the price point and for the segment. They've done a good job there. And then from a driving perspective, it's smooth. The acceleration is nice, smooth and seamless. And I mean, again, it's more than enough power for the segment. And then on top of that, it comes with a bunch of safety technology, which is a huge plus, right? You've got the adaptive cruise control, you've got the blind spot monitoring, you've got the steering assistance on the highway, which is really nice stuff. You guys have seen with the several Nissans and Infinities that I've had over the last little bit when I've driven them on the highway, just does a really good job with those safety systems. But then it's all at a really reasonable price point. Because I mean, this is going to compete against Dodge Durango, Kia Telluride, the new Jeep Grand Cherokee L, and it seems like you're getting the equipment and the interior that those have at the higher end models that are more expensive than this, but then at a much more reasonable price. And so you're just getting a much better value here with this new Pathfinder. And so if you want the best bang for your buck in this segment, I definitely think it's the Pathfinder right now. It's super reasonable for everything this comes with. Now let's get sum things up for our video on this 2022 Nissan Pathfinder Platinum. Again, a huge shout out and thank you to Tim Daly Nissan here in Murray for giving me some time with the Pathfinder. Check out the inventory and link below. I'll see all of you in that next video.